What's up guys, it's Emily. So today's video is going to be a health update video. I haven't done a health update for 9 months. And honestly, I need to catch you guys up on a lot of things, what's going on. And I want to do a separate video addressing something that honestly I think I need to talk about because personally, I've got some comments from certain people and things like that, so I think I'm going to do that as a separate video. But this is going to be a health update video and let you guys know everything that's been going on. There is a lot to cover, so stay tuned with this video. Give this video a fat thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell to always be notified of my videos. Comment what you guys think of this health update, and let's get this started. Okay, so health update. Okay, the last time I gave you guys a health update was I had to give you guys a health update probably sooner than 9 months. Hold on a second. I felt like I gave you guys one in March. I really haven't gave you guys a health update since 9 months ago, so yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense because we're in November, wait, October, September, August, July, June, May, April, March. Yeah, so February. So yeah, that totally makes sense. Yeah. So that was the last update, was what happened in March. Now, in March, I went to the endocrinologist and she ran some blood work. And my blood work did come back, and she wanted me to get a bunch of blood work done. She wanted me to get a glucose test done to make sure I had no diabetes. I had to get so many tests, guys. I had to get like 9 tubes of blood taken from me, a glucose test for 3 hours, and then what else? Oh, and then I had to do a 24-hour urine collection. And obviously, we're in the middle of a pandemic, and March is right when it started getting when a nationwide shutdown. So pretty much I did that in August. That's when I went, because the pandemic was just it just closed down everything, and I didn't honestly expect that. Yeah, the healthcare was still open, but I was not trying to go in that type of place during those months. So I went in August finally when I felt comfortable enough to go, and I did my glucose test. I thought it was gonna be worse than I thought, but honestly it wasn't. It was honestly not as bad. They actually, I had to drink this drink, and it was simple. It was just I felt very shaky and sugary and all that nonsense. And then they took 9 tubes of blood for my thyroid hormones. They took for my PCOS hormones. They took for, she was looking for other things between my prolactin, things that were associated with PCOS and diabetes and just a mix of things. And then the 24-hour urine collection was just to see if there was anything going on in my urine. So my results came back. I went in August. My results came back, and I seen the results first before my doctor actually called me, and I noticed there was certain tests that was in the red. Now, if it's in the red, there's something going on. So I was like, what does this mean? This, that, and a third. And I didn't want to scare myself, but the one that I thought that something was wrong, sure enough, there was something wrong. So my thyroid was normal, thankfully, God willingly. My hormones were elevated. My DHA was elevated. My prolactin was elevated. My IGF-1 was low. And then these are the ones that stood out to her. And then my DHA was high. My prolactin was high, and then my IGF was low. And then what was the other thing that was out of it? Oh, and then my glucose test, I just passed it. Um, my second hour, my sugar did go up, like right where it was supposed to be. But it wasn't concerning to her. But the reason why my prolactin and my IGF, okay, so let me explain this the best way I can. So pretty much my prolactin was high, and prolactin, if you guys don't know, it has to do with your breast milk and things like that. And then your IGF, my IGF was low. So that standed out to her because one was high and one was low. And the reason why it standed out to her was because it's not supposed to be like that. So she was very concerned. She just took the precautions she needed to do. So, you know, I was honestly so nervous for what she wanted me to do. I'm gonna get an explanation for that. But I was like, what does this even mean? Like, I had so many questions. Like, I was just like in complete shock. I was like it's just never a dull moment for me, honestly. So pretty much she wanted me to get a MRI brain scan of my pituitary gland. Now my pituitary gland has to do with my hormones. And pretty much your pituitary gland is in the lowest part of your brain, and it pretty much produces all the hormones, whether it's your thyroid, whether it's just, or anything hormonal. So she wanted me to go get an MRI. Now I was like in complete shock because I was like, when she said that, I was like, I started crying because like when she told me that, you know, it was slightly off, that it was concerning to her because one was high, one was low. I just started breaking out crying, and then I went to my mom and I told her like they want to give me a brain scan, and my mom was in complete shock. She was like, what are you talking about? So she called them back and asked them like, is it dangerous and anything like that. And honestly, the reason why they were checking, because with pituitary gland you could develop a bench tumor in your head, your brain, and that could cause your levels to be out of whack. So pretty much that's why she wanted me to get this MRI done. And I was just like scared because I don't like to be enclosed in spaces. I'm very claustrophobic, and I was just very scared. Now, I found out my results later on, like the end of August, and that's when she told me. And that's right before I went on my trip to Massachusetts. So I was going to schedule it and not even go to Massachusetts, honestly. But honestly, I think it was well needed, even though, you know, with the pandemic going on, I just needed to ease my mind from doctors and everything else. So, and I wanted to be with my family and things like that. So the fact that finding out that I had to go get a brain scan, I was like, I'm still in complete shock that I even pulled through to do it, because my mom knows that I'm very claustrophobic. I cannot do it. I can't handle stuff like that. And I was starting to research, Google things like like how's the procedure and things like that. So I go for my MRI on September 22nd, I believe. And I was in the machine for 50 minutes. Now, so when I first went to go get my MRI, I was scared. Honestly, I was shaking. I was legit shaking. I was like that. I was legit shaking. I was really nervous, but they told me I had to change my clothes, my mask, you know, all that stuff. So I was not allowed to wear any metal. All the things that they told me to do, I had to do it. And pretty much they told me to lay down, and I'm just like laying there, and I'm like, and my heart was racing, but I knew I was in good hands, you know. And they're like, all right, we're gonna give you an IV to put in your arm, and we gotta keep it in there. And I was like, now with IVs I get really bad bruising. I'm still bruised up, so like it's not as bad though, like it was bad bruised up. So pretty much I got my MRI done. I mean, they put the IV in my arm, and the reason why they had to keep that in my arm was because they wanted to do an MRI with contrast and without contrast. So for the first half of the 50 minutes, we did without contrast. And then the rest was with contrast. And I didn't know that. I thought it was automatically going to go on my system. I didn't know they were doing it like that. So I had this in my arm. And then I'm laying there, right? I'm just like laying there. And they put this cage thing over my head. I freaked out at that moment. I was like, there was like a neck brace around my neck. And then they have this cage thing in my head, on my head. And then they give me the stress ball to hold in my other hand because of, I told them about the claustrophobia and like the fear of being in small spaces. And so they put me through the machine. And honestly, like when you first go in, guys, like I was so scared. Like I just felt like it was getting tighter, and I couldn't wear my glasses because it has metal. So I had to take those off, but I just felt like it was just getting smaller and smaller, and I couldn't see like the proper how big it was in the inside. But when I first walked in, I could see there was no other opening on the other end, and it was just open where you go in. So I have this thing over my head. I'm in there, and they also gave me music, which I was so freaking happy. I thought that was the only thing that eased my mind, and like I like kind of kept me calm, but not really. So I was in there for 50 minutes straight, and midway, I was thinking the worst scenarios. I was thinking of Final Destination. What if the building burns down and I can get out of this machine with this cage thing on my head? I have a needle in my arm. I was just thinking worst scenarios. I was just like, I need to get out of this machine. So she was talking to me through it, and I was like listening to they played really good music, which I was so happy because all the music they played was like really good music. So I was like not that stressed about the music, and it wasn't too loud, or it was just the machine between the music. I had such a bad headache after. So then she tells me halfway through that we're putting the contrast in your system. Now I didn't know if I was gonna feel okay. So I had a CT scan before, and it makes you feel like you're peeing yourself, but this one, it didn't make me feel like anything. All you felt was the contrast going through your vein, like the pressure. And I was just like, it wasn't bad. I'm pretty good with needles, honestly. I take needles like a champ. Since young, I've always been good with needles. But yeah, so we did that, and then 50 minutes passed finally, and I was out of that machine. And they pulled me out, and they didn't pull me out. They just pressed the button. I was like sliding out. And I got out, and I was like so happy to see get out of the machine, and like I had my eyes closed the whole time on top of that. And my mom was with me also. They gave her earplugs. And so yeah, that was done, and then I had to wait for the results for that. So that's where we are right now. I got the results. I spoke to my doctor yesterday. So pretty much my pituitary gland is normal. They didn't find any tumors. They didn't find nothing. Everything was normal. My brain was normal. My pituitary gland was normal. And she told me that with your situation, with PCOS and the thyroid, it goes crashing with each other, that it could make. So she pretty much closed the case that there's nothing wrong with my pituitary gland, and she wanted to rule out that, you know, the possible, all the possibles that could possibly be wrong of why my levels were the way they were. So she ruled that out, and then there was nothing wrong. So with my results, she pretty much closed the case with that. But she told me with my hormonal issue, you know, it's normal for your hormones to go back and forth with each other and make things higher, make things lower. But she did ask me about my periods, and I told her that they're super irregular, that I don't even get them, because I don't. I really, truly don't. I don't. Some months I'll get them for like an hour the most. Sometimes I don't get them at all though. And even with being on birth control, she told me that I'm supposed to be getting it because I'm getting the estrogen that I need because I have too many male hormones, so it goes, the estrogen is just balancing out my body. So she wants me to do a follow-up with my OBGYN to make sure there's nothing structurally wrong there. And then I also asked for a referral for my stomach because I do have a lot of stomach issues. And what I mean by stomach issues is a lot of gastritis issues with like heartburn, bathroom issues, things like that. And then she also referred me to a weight management doctor because my weight is not moving anywhere. I did tell her from the last time, speaking to her in March, I did interpret more vegetables into my diet. I did as much as activities as I could, even though we were in the middle of a pandemic. I told her that I was taking walks around my block with my mom. And, she wanted me to walk 30 minutes, so that's what we did, day and night. And then even if I didn't take a walk that day, I did cardio in my room, and I was watching my diet and stuff, changed my oils, changed a lot of things with my food situation. And I just cut back on a lot of things that I used to love, and certain things I still have there that I'm working like gradually to get it off my diet. So she wants me to go to a weight management doctor because, with my situation, she told me that 8% to 10% people, there's people that will lose a bunch of weight, there's people that won't lose weight at all. And I'm one of those 8% of people that don't lose weight at all. And then she said that there's people that lose weight with dieting and exercise. But with my situation, it's hard because of my PCOS and my thyroid just go fight each other pretty much. So overall, and then what else? And then I switched my thyroid medication because I wanted to try a new one because of my symptoms. I have low energy, things like that. So I wanted to try something new. So I'm hoping that helps. I did get an order from CVS for it, and it's already at the pharmacy. So we're going to test that out to see. And then, but overall, she told me that there's nothing to worry about with your stuff. Like, even though it's elevated, like, we are aware of that. But she wants me to do all those follow-ups with all the doctors that she's sending me off to. And then 6 months from now, she's going to do all over. So she's going to do all that blood work over and see, like, the glucose test. She's going to do the hormones test, the thyroid test, and just make sure to see if anything changed, if anything elevated. And then she's going to see from there if there's any other things that she wants to go testing for. But overall, health-wise, like, God has been on my side with this. Honestly, like, I'm always getting some sort of bad news with my health. Not bad news, like, it could be much worse, but, with my situation, I'm grateful, that I have a doctor that's actually cares enough to listen to me and things like that. So yeah, that's pretty much my health update. So yeah, the next health update will probably be 6 months from now or maybe a year from now, because I have to get all that follow-up appointments done, and then I have to go get blood work done, and then just the whole mess of things done again. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and you guys are staying healthy during this crazy time. And make sure you're keeping your loved ones close, because I know for sure this year has been crazy. Whether it's my own life, whether it's my family, it's been a crazy year. And I'm so ready for 2021 to hit, and hopefully this pandemic could finally end, possibly by March, but fingers crossed. But overall, that's what I wanted to talk about with you guys, because I haven't done a health update in 9 months, and that is crazy to say. But I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.